Have you ever accidentally been the getaway driver for a crime you witnessed at a gas station? I was running late for my night shift at the warehouse and needed caffeine bad, so I swung by this 24-hour gas station on 5th Street, the one with the buzzing neon sign that's been half broken for years. I left my car running outside like I always do when I'm just grabbing something quick. Inside, there was this young guy at the counter arguing with the cashier about something. He looked maybe early 20s, wearing a beat-up hoodie and jeans that had seen better days. The guy was all twitchy and kept shifting his weight from foot to foot like he had ants in his pants. The cashier, this older dude with a thick mustache, kept saying, "You need to pay for that first, sir," over and over. I grabbed my Red Bull and some beef jerky, thinking it was just some broke college kid trying to negotiate or something. The twitchy guy kept pacing back and forth in front of the counter, checking his phone every few seconds. I paid for my stuff and headed out to my car. That's when everything went sideways. The second I opened my driver's side door, that same guy came sprinting out of the store clutching this black duffel bag against his chest. Before I could even process what was happening, he yanked open my passenger door and dove in yelling, "Drive! Drive now!" I honestly thought it was some kind of prank at first. Maybe one of my coworkers had set this up or something, but then I looked in my rearview mirror and saw the cashier running after us with his phone pressed to his ear, probably calling 911. That's when it hit me like a brick to the face. This was actually happening. The guy next to me was breathing heavy and kept looking over his shoulder. "Go left here!" he shouted, pointing frantically. I was so panicked I just did what he said. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel and I kept asking, "What the hell is going on? What did you do?" But he just told me to shut up and keep driving. We drove for maybe 10 minutes through residential streets I'd never seen before. The whole time this guy is giving me directions. Turn right, go straight, left at the stop sign. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I kept thinking about how I was supposed to be at work in 20 minutes, and instead I was apparently helping someone escape from something. Finally, we pulled into this empty lot behind an old furniture store that looked like it had been closed for years. There were weeds growing through cracks in the pavement, and a rusty dumpster sitting in the corner. The guy turned to me and said, "Thanks, man, you saved my ass. You won't regret this, I promise." Then he grabbed his duffel bag and just bolted toward this chain-link fence at the back of the lot. He squeezed through a hole in the fence and disappeared into the darkness behind some trees. I sat there for a minute trying to figure out what just happened before driving home in complete silence. The next morning I was eating cereal when someone knocked on my apartment door. It was two cops, a tall woman with blonde hair and a shorter guy who looked like he hadn't slept in days. They showed me their badges and said they needed to ask me some questions about an incident at the gas station. Turns out there were security cameras everywhere. They had footage of my car pulling away from the scene right after the robbery. I tried explaining that it was all a huge misunderstanding, that some random guy had jumped in my car and I panicked. But the blonde officer kept saying, "You were seen driving away calmly after the suspect entered your vehicle." That's when I remembered something that might save me. The duffel bag the guy was carrying had this logo on it, some kind of custom gym logo with a cartoon weightlifter. I'd seen it for just a second when he was getting out, but it stuck in my mind because it looked so cheesy. I drove back to that empty lot where he'd jumped out. I spent like an hour searching around that fence and behind the dumpster. Just when I was about to give up, I found it. The same duffel bag, half buried under a pile of old leaves and trash. Inside were gym clothes that smelled like they hadn't been washed in weeks, an old employee ID badge from some restaurant called Tony's Pizza, and at the very bottom, a black ski mask, the same one from the security footage the cops had shown me. I called the police station immediately and told them what I'd found. They came out, took pictures of everything, and ran fingerprints on the bag. Turns out the guy had a record for petty theft, and the ID badge led them right to him. 2 weeks later, they caught him trying to rob another gas station 3 towns over. The charges against me got dropped and I got an apology letter from the police department. Now I always lock my car doors, even for quick stops.